Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and I hope you're all having a wonderful and creative day. And today, you can probably tell from the video title, I'm going to be making some flip open journal spaces. I'm not sure how many I'm going to make. Title again probably gave it away for how many I'm going to make, but I've got several ideas that I want to show you. And I'm going to involve different papers, and hopefully you have all kinds that I have, or you can adapt to them. I'm going to be using these mat stacks, which are 4.5 by 6.5, but 4 by 6 would work also. I have these Tim Holtz, I think they're called backdrops, and they are 6 by 10, but of course 6 by 10 can always be cut from 12 by 12 pages. Cut them down 2 6s and then cut one down to 10. I'm also going to be doing something with a 6 by 12 and a full 12 by 12 sheet. So yeah, as long as you've got at least some 12 by 12 papers, you should be able to adapt any of my ideas and make them. So let me get the first project set up and we will get a rolling. All right, so the first one we're gonna do, I actually made one already. I have attached it to one of my pages in my Birds and Bees journal kit. If you haven't seen that, go check out Coffee. It's very pretty. But it is, as you can see, was a corner chuck. Nothing so fancy about that. But what this one does is it flips open, leaving a nice big journaling spot. I did grunge this up a bit. Well, actually quite a bit. If you don't want to grunge it up, you don't have to. If you want to use double-sided paper, you can, but obviously this is a great one to use single-sided for it. You could also put some sort of tab on here if you wanted to, but it's not necessary because it does open up very easily and closes back down. So let me show you how easy this one is to make. So we're going to start with a 4 by 8 piece of paper. So I have a 12 by 12 and I have picked butterflies because I thought they would also go well in my Bees and Birds journal, which I think I'm leaning toward doing next. So I don't know if there's really an up or down for this. Let me go with this way. All right, so 4 by 8. So we're going to cut the 4 down first. I've been having trouble with this paper cutter. I think I need a new blade. Yeah, it's really, I think I might have to get my behemoth out to cut the rest. Okay, scissors. Let's do little scissors. I think I have one of these replacement blades somewhere. I'll have to look for it. But anywho, let's get this out of the way and stop using it. Okay, so we need 4 by 8. So this is 12, so we're going to cut 4 inches off of this. Okay. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. And then we're going to take and fold a corner in and the other corner. And now I folded it backwards because I can go back and fix this when all is said and done, and fold it the correct way. All right, so this is where the inking can help out if it has a little bit of white showing through. Actually, don't need to do the back. So this would get glued down. I'll hold the corner. This would get glued down to your page so that this gets in there, and then this folds up, and there you go. Done. Now, the way I'm going to show you the way that I did it before I figured out it was 4 by 12, so that you could probably, if you have a random piece of paper laying around, let me see if I have a random piece of paper laying around. So I have this, and it's probably 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 by probably 11. These are my cutoffs. Might be 12. What's 11? So what I did is I had a piece of paper. So the first thing I did is I folded over for my first triangle to make it be that way. And then You ever seen how like an American flag folds? You then take that and fold the next direction, keeping it straight there, getting it straight along the bottom. And there we go. And then we're going to take this and we're going to do the same thing like the American flag fold, or any flag fold really, and bump it up to even there. All right, and the last one, we are going to fold this up. All right, so this last fold right here is where I ended up cutting it off. Hopefully I can cut straight, not too bad. Got a little piece of paper there. So what I have now, I did that kind of quick, not as folded as nice as I would like, but it'll work. So what I have now is, again, piece of paper glued down, and this is a tuck this way. This opens up to be like that. You want it to go this way, glue it down and tuck. There you go. Now you got to pay attention if you have writing or something, because it will flip around possibly. This one that I did, it did have some writing on it, and that was the bottom of the sheet of paper, but when it got folded it was facing the right direction. Everything else is hidden behind, so it didn't really totally matter. I could decorate this. I could add something in here to make it more writable, or like this piece, which is not really doesn't have a lot of decoration on it. When this would get folded open or out, you could use this spot to write, and you could use all these spots to write. So lots of fun from one little piece of paper that's 4 by 8, or again, if you've got something smaller like 3.5, you can also make a pocket that way and not even have to realize what the other direction is. So there is the first one. Okay, the next one we are going to make out of a 6 by 10 piece of paper. So again, if you've got 12 by 12, so you can cut one down to 6 by 10, it will totally work. All right, so we are going to use my scoreboard. You don't have to, but it does make it easier, especially for these thicker papers. And we are going to score it from both ends at 2.5 to do a fold. And 2.5. All right, the prototype that I made was out of single paper, and I will show you that after we did this and what I did to make it a little prettier. But this has a fun outside, and then this had a neutral back to be able to write on. And even though the words are sideways, I am fine with that. All right, so the next thing that we took was a one of those 4.5 by 6.5s. All right, I found one that went well, and what we're going to do is we're going to put on here some fun decorations at the top. So I'm going to keep this length, but I'm going to fold this in half, because I need 2 pieces. Get that out of the way. But I'm going to cut this down so that they are only 2.5 tall. And the reason being is because this is 6, so if I made a 3, they would be too big. So 2.5 is going to make this whole thing end up being 5 inches. And you'll see why. So just cut that center off, because I technically can use that piece for something. But now I have 2 pieces that are approximately 3.5 by 2.5. And they're going to go across here. All right, so I am going to round these corners because rounding is fun. And as I'm rounding it, I'm just gonna do a little bit of housekeeping, as we say here. I just want to welcome a whole bunch of new subscribers to the channel. Recently popped in. I'm very happy to see that you've come to see what this is all about. But this is also to subscribers and new subscribers and old subscribers. If there's ever anything you ever want to see, let me know in the comments. I'm always up for things. My videos are usually not true tutorials. They are more, this is what I've made. This is how I've done it. And these are the mistakes I've made, because I don't really edit them out and just show the pretty end. I do show the mistakes and how I fix them, so that if you decide you want to make something, you can avoid my mistakes. And they're meant to inspire. A lot of the ideas I get something from somewhere, and I usually don't copy step by step. I adjust it to something that I like to do. So that's my hope, is either you take an idea and, you know, not copy it verbatim per se, but you can, but use it to inspire to do something else. Okay, so I almost feel really bad that I'm going to be covering this up, but this is what it is. All right, so we're going to take these and we are going to glue them down. Now, we're not going to glue them down totally. We are going to glue them down irregularly. All right, so the first one we are going to glue on this side. So we're going to glue about halfway and do this. And I'm just going to put a line of glue right here on the edge so I know that I get it. Whoops, don't fall. All right, so we're going to do our best to line this straight. And there happens to be grid lines, which is making it a little easier to line up. And make sure nothing's sticking out this side, and there's not. Okay. All right, so this one we're going to glue on this side. And yeah, we're going to glue it on that side. All right, we'll put some glue on this side. And again, just put a little glue right there to make sure we get the edge. I'm going to open this up and do my best to keep this one straight as well. There we go. Okay, so good. Now these are so this is open, and there's a little place you can actually write in the back too. There's a nice writing spot on the inside here. I'm probably not gonna be able to do this now. I like to just nip the edges on these just because makes them look a little bit more used. I'm just gonna have to round that one. Should have done that first. Okay. Now, if there was an up or down, you would be able to put it that way, but there's not. So there it is, where this opens, and you got a spot. So you can attach this on a piece of paper. I'm just gonna grab a oddly colored yellow one. You would have it on a journal page, and you could glue it like a pocket in the back and be able to stick stuff inside of there, and then be able to, once it's glued down, open it up, journal spot, right, and close it down. You could also put it in the center, glue the top and bottom, and have a side tuck for it, and fun stuff. Now I'm going to show you the one I did as a prototype. Here is the prototype, and I did it on a white piece of paper. I did use the same type of thicker, these cards, and what I did was I did put a pretty piece of paper in the center here to make it less white, and I kept this as journaling spots. This could still kind of be journaling if you wanted to, but then this, again, same difference, closes like that, and pocket or side tuck. So fun, right? I like the this one. I didn't like curve this edge. I was curving it as I went. I do like the curved part for it. I think it's kind of fun, and it leads to, yeah, cute. All right, so there is the second flip open pocket. I love it. All right, I'm going to get the third one ready. It's going to be pretty similar to this one, but a little bit different. All right, so this next one also starts with a piece of paper that is 6 by 10. This one is one of the Tim Holtz double-sided. Again, does not have to be. The inside could end up being white if you wanted to. The first score is going to be at 1.5 inches. All right, so we're going to score it at 1.5. I decided to do this one because I wanted this flap with that word. I think it's looks like a cigar box, I'm guessing. And then this fun green. I am picking a lot of colors that could go into my bird journal, I must say. Lots of greens and neutrals and some peaches, pinkish, like that last thing had a little bit of pinkish to it. So yeah, I am picking those based off of that. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to get the top part crossover cover flap that's going to go on here. Now I have chosen this, and it's a lighter green, but I think it's green and I like it, so I think I'm going to go with it. And we need a piece that is a 3 by 6. So again, I think this is a little bigger than 6, so I'm going to cut it down. These were like 6.5 by 4.5. Instead of 4 by 6. I don't know why. Just 4. All right, so we got 6 and 3. 6 by 3. Another little piece I get to save for something fun. All right, so once again, I'm gonna go ahead and just give that a little bit of a round. And now I'm not inking any of this stuff right now, mostly, but it definitely can be inked if you so desire. All right, so I'm gonna take this and I'm going to score this at 1.5. And this looks like it would go this way. So I'm gonna score this side at 1.5. Oops. Paper's a little bit thicker, so it takes a little bit extra to make sure it gets scored. All right, 1.5. All right, now if you recall from not too long ago, this was 1.5 also. So this is scored to, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a sticker. There we go. It is scored at 1.5 to get rid of, or to match what's there. I'm just gonna put a little ink on there. And sadly, it is gonna cover up most of what I had in there. Now you can adjust it, have high, low, and I think I might put this low. In the prototype that I made, I put it in the middle, but I think I'm gonna put it low because of those letters. So we're gonna glue this flap completely onto that flap. All right, doing our best to make it even along that side. And not sticking out. So beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I once again forgot to round these corners. But again, not a, oh, I think I can do it. Not a must have or must do, just a Lisa do. And I'm just taking the tiniest one just to knock a corner off. Okay, so that's folded in and that's folded in. And again, if you wanted to ink it, scrunch it up a little bit. I should have done it beforehand, but there we go. Beautiful. All right, so the next step is we are going to fold this in to cover it. Now, I could have scored it, but because depending on where you want to fold it, this is where you're going to do it. But you want to fold it so it's past the mark. But keep in mind that if you've got a 4 or 5 inch page, you want to have it a little bit smaller. So this would be 5, would work fine. But I'm more wanting to get it almost completely over this flap. But I don't think I want to. I think I'm going to have, there's a line here. I think I'm going to have it go to there. So this is a random fold. And then this goes like this. And, oh, that's what I was going to say. Don't fold it in too far because unless you care if this passes by. But I actually did pretty good. It's very, very not, it is just a hint past there. But that's it. that is, oops, don't fold again. Don't bone fold on. So this opens up, right. This opens up. You could cover this up with something more writable. If you glue this page down under here and under here so that there is a pocket, then this, because it is lined up here, will be able to fold right back down also. And go like that and like that. Place the deck right here. Get a deck right here. Put a secret journaling spot there. Journal, pocket, or side tuck. So that is the next flip open journal spot. I love it. Okay, onward and upward. All right, for the next project, we are going to need a 12 by 6 piece of paper to start. So I pulled out a couple out of a paper pack. Got a 12 by 12 that I'll be able to cut down. And I think I'm gonna start with this one because it's got little bees and a beehive. Now the rest of these coordinate if I need to pull something else in. And let me get these out of the way for now. All right, so I'm gonna get my behemoth cutter out. And I'm going to cut this down to 12 by 6. Now, the item that I'm going to be doing is going to be going this way, similar to the other pockets that I'm making. And so I want to make sure I cut it that direction. But it doesn't really look like these bees totally go in one direction. But I really kind of think this looks a little more realistic, so I'm going to cut it this way. All right, 6 inches. What's nice is I have 2 of them if I want to make 2 of them. But we'll start with 1. Okay, scoreboard. All right, if you have a 12-inch scoreboard, I'll try to give you the 12-inch measurements, but it mostly can work on the my smaller scoreboard like this. All right, so the first score we're going to do is at 1.5 inches. And again, this is a little thicker paper, so I'm going to rub it a couple times. All right, 1.5, and then the second score is at 4. I'll get that. And then the third score is at 6.5. 6.5. All right, so the fourth score then would be at 11 if you have a 12-inch, but I don't. I'm going to flip it around and score it at 1. So 1.5, 4, 6.5, and then 1 or 11, depending on what you got. All right, let's get this out of the way. Get my better bone folder. All right, so we have, here's the 6-inch part. I want the pretty side up for this. You could do it and have the white side up for this. Either way it'll fold, you'll see in the end. But this 1 inch I'm going to fold under. This is going to become a flap that you could attach to a journal page. And of course, I don't know where my yellow, there it is. It's going to be able to be a wrap around, be able to glue it in, and be able to flap it open. So that's what the 1 inch is for. Now, if you don't want it to be a flap around, you could remove this 1 inch and throw it away. That's the only reason why I'm explaining it, and start with a 6 by 11. Okay, so then we're going to fold this one in, and we're just going to zigzag the fold. This one's going to come back, and this one's going to go like this. So you'll see by choosing the pretty paper to be on top, most of it is pretty on this side, except for this piece. And what you can do then is take this piece and cover it with something. And I just happen to have this sitting here, which I think goes with it pretty well. It's just a little bit wide. This is 1.5, and this is just a bit bigger than 1.5. So I'm going to cut it down. And I think I said, I don't know if I said, I'm not going to really decorate today because I am not sure where this is going, and plus this is really just a video to do show the flip-flops. I cut it just under 1.5 because it's easier to come around and ink it versus trying to cut the extra off. All right, so let's get to the glue stick and put some glue on here and just glue this down just to give the effect. Now, of course, if you wanted it white, by all means, it could be white, a little journaling spot. If you had double-sided paper, then you would not have this issue. It would have had a different pattern here. But again, keep them focused. The side that you want to see more of is going to be the side that you fold up into. The side that you want to see least of is like that. All right, so this is attached to a page, and then now this opens up. You can write on, decorate, draw, closes down like that. And just gonna, we're gonna do the medium one. Oops, there we go. And because it was a little bit off, I'm just gonna go ahead and ink. And there you go. And if you wanted to ink these, you can. So if you wanted to fold it the other way, I'm not sure I could do it justice this way. There we go. If you wanted to fold it this way, there we go, where your main piece is just that, and you've got all this on top, you could take this and put some pretty papers on those, writing papers on those, whatever you wanted to do, and have it go that way. Or if this was double-sided, there you go. Now, if you didn't, this definitely could be written on, or it, there we go. Like, wait a second, where did it go? It could definitely be written on, or add some decoration to it. I could also turn this into a pocket where I glue here, and then this becomes a tuck. This can still be a flip out where you could write some stuff on there. And as usual, this is attached to a page, and it can be just flipped out. And now this side is all writable. All right, glue to a page, down on a page. Probably put a paper clip or something on there. Done. And then pretty. Or, because it's glued to a page, flip it out, right. But it still has that pretty paper on that side. So hard to do these when you don't actually glue them into a page. But this is definitely going to go into the journal. And do I get my pages and see where it can go? There, or do I put it here? No, I don't want to put it there because that's cover that beehive up. Or I technically could glue it down like this. That would be cute. Anyone see it on that side? That really looks nice with that. Does look okay there. You know, I'm not totally mad about having that on this side. I am going to, as usual, clip these two. And just give it a little distress. Okay. Fold this page before I forget. Fold it the right direction. Okay, and you know, people say don't cover the pretty bees up, but like I said, this is not going to get glued down, so it is going to be flipping out and be able to see pretty bees. So the only question I have is, do I want to make this a tuck on this side or glue it down? I think I'm going to make it a tuck. So I'm going to glue just the top and bottom. I'm going to glue the top and the bottom. I'm not going to glue it all the way to the bottom, but I'm going to have it come up just a slight bit. Glue that down. So now I have something that can get tucked right in there. This is on this side in the journal. Be able to flip out, decorate if I feel like it. Add, you know, a bird or a bigger bumblebee there. But then this also opens up this way, and that is all journaling with the pretty end on there. You can see the pretty bee. You can journal back behind here, and then now it's hidden. I love it. I have 2 pages done in that journal now. Well, 2 pockets done, I should say, not really pages done, but I love it. Okay, let's put this to the side, and let's move on to the next one. Okay, I think I'm going to make this one the last one before it gets video goes too long. And this is the most complicated one, but I think it's one of the most fun ones. So we are going to start with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. In the end, we're only going to use 9 by 12 of this, but the reason that I decided to not say to get a 9 by 12 is because of how we start to fold it. So we're going to fold it in half, so you don't have to score it or measure it. We're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to take that and we're going to fold it in half again to meet the edge for this. And score it, or fold it down. And we're going to do the same on this side. Trying to keep it as straight as possible. Okay, so like I said, we only need technically 9 by 12 out of this. So I'm going to cut this piece off here. But the reason that I didn't do it at first is because it's harder to fold stuff into thirds. It's easier to fold in half and half to get 3 evenly divided pieces there. So I'm going to cut this off. Okay. It is cut up. So now I got a piece to be able to use for something else. Hopefully you'll see that we can actually use it inside of here or just in anything else. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to fold the opposite direction. And we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to fold it in half, lining those ends up. And then once again, folding it each side in half. Now it doesn't matter if the white goes on the inside, the dark goes on the inside. I just find it easier to fold right to left than the other way, probably because I'm right-handed. So it does not matter which way we do it. Okay, so now we have a piece of paper that is 9 by 12, and it is in 3 by 3 squares, basically. All right, so now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to make some cuts. Okay, you have to determine which one is going to be the top. Now this is easy because there's actually writing in here, so you know which side is going to be the top. So we are going to, on the top row, we are going to cut to the end on both sides, not all the way through, just to give flaps to the end. Okay, so now you need to remove one of these sides, and it really doesn't matter at this point, but I'm going to remove this side because it has more writing on it, and I kind of want to save that because the other side is going to go away. Okay, I'm going to save that. All right, so now this top part, if you've got double-sided, you could flip it this way and have it be whatever's on the back and the front. I just happen to have single-sided on this one, so I'm going to take this and wrap it this way. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. But first off, I am going to just angle this cut just a little bit more, just so it doesn't bind up. And then glue it down. Not doing a great job of gluing it right now, but it will be okay. All right, and and I'm going to do something else to the top when we're done. Okay, so for the next 2 rows, what we're going to do is we're going to cut one of the sides going in, and we're going to do opposite. So if we cut this side going in, I'm going to cut that side. So we'll start with that, and I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to cut, and actually one would probably be easier. I'm going to just cut this center part out so that we get rid of, I'll show you when I open it. It leaves a bit of a gap. I'll do it on this side. So I want this side, I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to cut just in the line, not past it. And I'm just going to get rid of just a sliver of it. Whoops, not far enough. And you can see it leaves a sliver. I just need to go more to the center. And that just eliminates the bulk that is in there. Okay. So for that, actually, we need to do both sides to the center. So I'm going to do the same thing. And we're just going to trim that to the center. And trim that to the center. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning. I don't edit it out. I should have started with a whole nother piece of paper again to show that I did not make a mistake, but I have my cheat sheet and I forgot that I had done it. Okay, so it's easier to see back here, but now you can see that all of them are cut with a little bit of a gap to the center, like that. All right, so what we're going to do, like I said, it'd probably be best if you do have pretty opposites, pretty side on both sides, but not necessary. So we're going to take this and we're going to pick one side to fold in half to make a pocket. So we're going to fold it just shy of that line because we want to be able to close it. So we're going to fold that one in, and then we're going to fold this side in, and then we're going to fold this side in. Now, if you have paper that's got pretty flowers on it, or items, or something that you want to look at, figure out by flipping these in which side you want to show, which side you don't mind getting rid of. So this is going to be, all these little flaps are going to be glued down. So we're just going to, we're going to randomly throw some glue in here wildly, it appears, and glue these flaps down. Glue, glue, glue. Glue, glue, glue. Okay, so now what we have is 3 half pockets, 3 full flaps. And I'm going to take my little half circle and we're just going to, oh, that paper's thicker. Going to make a little pocket, little thumb hole, little thumb hole, little thumb hole. All right, again, if you feel like inking, you'd want to do that beforehand. Before we glue it down, we're going to do that. All right, so we're going to take each of these now thumb hold, and we're going to glue them down. You probably see where we're going here, and we're going to make little pockets. So once again, if you had double-sided, you would see the front side of the paper, and in here you would see the back side of the paper. And okay, and glue and glue and glue. Now, for these, I'm just gonna fancy them up, and once again, just use my smallest little corner pockety thing for that. All right, now for the top, I'm going to use my big behemoth cutter to make it fancy. But if you don't have a big behemoth cutter, you could, you know, trace a cut thing or eyeball it, or, you know, cut tag. You'll see why we want this just a little bit different in the end. Okay, so we're gonna put the glue away because it is glued. It is done, except for its final step of folding. Okay, so these go there and cover up their little pockets. Again, this is perfect because this was sort of neutral that it can be written on. And we're just gonna take this and fold it up. Gonna probably need to bone fold a little bit because it's thicker as we go. And it's gonna get folded up. And you can kind of see why we wanted to cut a little bit of the pockets away. And then this gets folded down and bone folded. And we have a fun little pocket that can get tucked into something, or technically it could get glued down to a piece of paper. So if it got glued down on a page, you want to make it a side tuck, glue it down on a page, but then you're able to open it up and reveal all those places, as well as now having a place to put something there, a place to put something there, and a place to put something there. And there you go. If you want to put a piece of Velcro on there to close it, that will work too. The prototype that I had, I will show you. I used much thinner paper than this thicker paper, and same process, same cutting. It seems to want to close and lay flat a little bit better because it's thinner. So now that I've done it with a little bit thicker, even though this matches the journal, the bee journal, a little bit better, I think this paper was a little thicker than I would like. This thinner scrapbook paper, you can kind of tell how much thicker, it is when it gets folded. Works, but I think that thinner stuff works a lot better, but it's still cute. Unfortunately, the words are upside down on that, but could always glue it this way, technically. Have it flip up. Tuck, tuck, tuck. For sure, that would work. Love it. I love it. Okay, except for the thickness part. That I'm not a total fan of, but I love the folds. All right, well, that is the last idea that I think I'm going to go through today. I've got several more of these fun flappy folds that I'll probably do in a video soon, because these are definitely fun, and I had fun making ones to go into my bee journal. So I have that one to go into the bee journal. And I got that one to go in the bee journal. This could definitely go in there. Stick it somewhere. Actually, this has green in it. I could use this. I really didn't make it too bad. I didn't round the corners. That's probably the only thing I'd probably go back and do, is go ahead and round the corners. So this might end up being a Happy Meal or something. So I got that. I've got my prototype that's in green, which I could definitely use. But then I've got my good one, which also matches quite well for that. And last but not least, the single one. Again, colors match beautifully. I did quite well, I think, matching the colors for the next journal. I'm guessing I'm saying that the Birds and Bee journal is going to be the next journal. Most of the votes were, when I did the digital kit, were for Birds and Bees. And I was kind of leaning toward it. I think that'll be fun. Not that I don't want to do the monster one, but now that I've done all this pockets and ephemera for it, I really think this is going to be a fun one to do. Okay, well, that was probably a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but I'm happy I got through those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 5 flip open journal spots. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.